Once upon a time, I was an unhappy girl. At school, I stared out the window and my stomach hurt and I felt separate from everyone, as if we belonged to different species of animals. All day, I searched the clouds for the shapes of dragons and dreams.
Elsa? Elsa? Earth to little Elsa. Would you care to join us on this planet?
Sorry.
I take it you do not want to answer question 11 for us. Elsa, Elsa, Earth to little Elsa.
It sounds like a little thing, and it was on its own. But it wasn't on its own. There were a million little things every day. The little things were like being poked with a needle. They left holes. But when you poke a bunch of little holes really close together, suddenly they're not little holes anymore. They're a big hole. And then they're not just a big hole, but a black hole. A huge swirling void in the middle of outer space, waiting to swallow you whole. I would go to the bathroom just to get away from them. I would sit there on the toilet and wonder if I was quiet and sad and anxious and weird because everyone hated me, or if everyone hated me because I was quiet and sad and anxious and weird. After that, I didn't go to the bathroom anymore.
What's that for?
We're making bug jars.
Bug jars.
Yeah, we're making homes for our monarch butterflies. We're raising them in science.
Oh, that's great you're doing that again. You loved it so much last year.
Thanks, Mom. Bye. Teacher,
Yes.
I have to go to the bathroom.
All right. Go ahead. Oh, what's the jar for?
I couldn't go back to the bathroom. I just couldn't. So I walked around the hall a couple of times and went back to the classroom. I had to wait until lunch. Then I found a safe space in the bushes behind the gymnasium, and I filled up my jar.
Ugh. What are you doing here?
Eating lunch?
Why? Because no one wants to sit with you.
I like it in here.
What's in the jar?
Apple juice?
I bet it's pee!
It is not.
Oh, dude, it so is pee!
It's apple juice. Go away.
I don't want your pee anyway.
As soon as he left, I poured out my jar in the dirt. I realized that I hadn't needed a jar. I could have peed in the dirt in the first place, but for some reason, the thought hadn't even occurred to me. That moment was one of my lowest ever. But the thing didn't happen then. It happened later, at home.
How's your bug jar?
Fine, boring. She's just a caterpillar right now. And that's when the thing happened for the first time. There was a roaring in my ears. There were cicadas in my head. A knot of snakes started rising in my belly. An elevator in my gut started to rise. I had the sudden and absolute epiphany that nothing was ever going to be okay, and there was nothing I could do about it. I started crying, but it wasn't like normal crying. It was fast and hard, and I couldn't stop it. I was out of my body, looking down, shocked by how small I was, like a doll more than a person. My mother asked if I was okay, and I wanted to shout at her, "Does it look like I am okay?" But I couldn't talk. The words were there, but my tongue wouldn't move. It didn't end until it ended. My mother asked what was wrong, and I told her that I didn't like apple juice anymore.
How are you feeling?
Good.
You don't look like you're feeling good.
I feel like the sky when it sucks.
What?
You know, like our least favorite sky, when it's not even gray, it's just white, when it looks like someone forgot to color it in.
Don't worry. Dear child, everyone feels like that from time to time. I know I do.
What did you just say?
I just said I know the feeling.
No, what was the actual thing you just said?
Everyone feels like that from time to time.
No, not that. You said, dear child.
Well, you are very dear to me.
Oh, I thought you meant deer, like the animal.
Well, that works too. You could be my sweet little dear. I could see it. I have to go get some work done, but you come find me if you need anything, okay?
Okay. I couldn't shake those words from my head. Dear child. I felt like I had just woken up. I went to look in the mirror. And saw myself for the first time. The next day, school was a menagerie. My classmates were mostly grackles. Loud, chaotic, always together. The worst boy I knew was a blue jay. Pretty, beloved, and secretly cruel. My only friend was a rat. Clever and despised, she was probably going to be the last living thing on the planet. And meanwhile, there I was, hidden in the trees. Suddenly, it wasn't human timidity, but animal intelligence that caused me to hold myself apart. I knew what I had to do to survive, and there was power in that knowing, a kind of grace. The smallest member of the deer family in the world is the Andean poodoo. The largest member of the deer family in the world is the moose. Water deer are sometimes known as vampire deer because they have fangs. Indian moonjack deer are known for their very un-Darwinian lack of fear of predators and for the whistle they emit when attacked. Female reindeer have antlers. Fallow deer keep their white spots their entire adult lives. They are my second favorite kind of deer. My first favorite kind of deer is the white-tailed deer. Don't tell me that's the boring choice.
We had them where I grew up. Did I ever tell you that? We had this sad little apple tree that eventually died. But before it died, the deer would come right off and eat the apples off the branches, and I would watch from the porch.
You never told me that.
Do you want to go this summer?
Yes. The rest of the school year was a blur of feathers and fur. The world turned white and then green again. And just like that, we were in the forest. Once upon a time, a girl and her mother were alone in the forest. It was the mother's forest, but it was about to become the daughter's forest, too.
Do you know what that is?
It's a dandelion.
Yes, but do you know what a dandelion is?
It's a weed.
No, it's not. It's a magic flower. Dandelions detoxify. They boost the immune system. They make great coffee. Well, maybe not great coffee.
I didn't know that.
That's because you didn't grow up in the forest. And I never thought I'd have a daughter that didn't know what a dandelion was.
What's that flower? Is it magic too?
Oh, yes, that is chicory. Now, chicory is good for your heart and your stomach. Oh, over there, purple coneflower is an excellent hairbrush, and it looks like a tiny fairy hedgehog, but also it's a painkiller. Now, if you chew up plantain, it stops bug bites from itching. And that one there that looks like tiny daisies is chamomile. You already know about this one. It's in your sleepy time tea.
I knew my mother. My mother was gloomy. She worked in a group home. She stared out the window. But I didn't know this witch mother. I didn't know this barefoot, bramble-haired girl. I didn't know this hummingbird mother.
Oh, look right there!
What is it?
It's a tiny toad!
There's another one. Oh, where'd it go? Is it? Where is it?
I caught one! I caught one!
That night, there was a storm. In the storm, there was a sound that wasn't thunder. Before my eyes adjusted to the dark, I heard of a motorcycle zooming by.
I own the farm down the road.
My mother said that when she was a kid, this used to be all forest. No farms.
Well, I just came to say hi. Haven't seen anyone in the place in years. Thought it was abandoned.
We'll be here all summer.
Just the summer then?
All summer.
Oh, I didn't mean to offend. Just curious is all. And I thought I should mention.
What?
Now, don't freak out. It's really fine. No big deal.
What?
There's a lion. Well, it's just a mountain lion. They're a panther, technically, and they're not that big, and they won't go after a person unless they feel threatened.
I'm not afraid.
Now, you are a very brave girl.
I've heard it.
When?
Last night?
I thought I heard it last night, too, when I was riding home on my motorcycle.
It caught a deer, but it didn't kill her. We saved her. She's on the porch.
What do you want with a deer?
We're taking care of her.
They're not pets.
They're my favorite animal.
Well, isn't that sweet? You know, I used to raise horses. Probably have some of the old equipment still, an electric fence, maybe some antibiotics.
That's cool.
I'm saying I can help you. Well, come back later today, okay?
Oh, thank you. Wow, okay. Steve helped us build a pen. I couldn't figure Steve out. I thought maybe he was a beaver or a bee because he was so industrious, but that didn't seem quite right. But my favorite part of the day was when Steve left and my deer woke up. Deer are crepuscular. That means that they are most active during dusk and dawn. So that summer, I became crepuscular too. We rose in the evening with the fireflies, and again in the morning with the birds. The quiet hours were ours. I had the thought that if I just stayed by my fawn's side all the time, she would be okay, and she let me. If my mom or Steve came anywhere near her, she would run, just like you would expect, but with me, she was different. Sometimes I worried she wasn't going to make it. I would push my forehead against hers and will her to tell me what she needed. And then one day, she did. My hummingbird mother and I didn't hang out much anymore. We had both gotten sucked into our own little worlds. How's the garden?
Oh, it's good. There are still so many herbs growing after all these years. How is your deer?
I can talk to her.
It's good to have someone to talk to.
No. She talks to me.
Honey, are you feeling okay?
You don't believe me.
I believe there's something, a kind of connection, some sort of understanding.
No, we talk with our minds. It's like magic, but not magic. It's how deer talk. It's normal for them. It's like she's letting me in on a secret. You don't have to believe me.
Of course, I believe you.
After the pen was finished, Steve still stopped by from time to time. It was nice to have a grown-up friend. He didn't make me feel nervous the way the other kids did. With Steve, I felt calm, brave, until one day.
How's my favorite deer?
Oh, good. She stood up for a really long time today.
Oh, no. I mean, you, silly. You are my favorite deer.
Oh, I'm good.
Now, what do you think about this?
It's pretty.
I saw it at the market today and I thought of you. Do you want it?
I could have sworn his eyes were brown, like a beaver's, but they weren't. They were yellow, like a mountain lion's. I don't think I'm supposed to have it. My fawn taught me about sunlight and moonlight and walnuts and dew and flowers, things about flowers that not even my mother knew. I taught her how to walk again. But she taught me how to run, to really run, how to take the wind into my body and make myself into air. She taught me about staying absolutely still. And then she taught me things there are no words for.
She has made a remarkable recovery. Are you proud? It's a good thing, too, because it's almost time to say goodbye. Oh, you took really good care of her, and she'll be all right in the forest, and you'll be all right, too. I promise. Oh, sweetheart, I know it's hard, but summer can't last forever.
And just like that, the summer was over.
Have you said goodbye to your dear friend yet? Do you want to? Do you want to be the one to open the gate and set her free? Do you want me to do it? Sweetheart, one of us has to do it. All right, I'm going to do it. Sweetheart, I'm sorry, but it's time to say goodbye. School starts on Monday. We're cutting it close as it is. Will you talk to me? Well, we can come back next summer. That way, you don't even have to say goodbye. You can just say, see you later. It's just a year. That's not so bad, is it? Listen to me. What you did for her this summer, that will never leave her. And I don't just mean nursing her back to health, I mean your love won't ever leave her. And her love will never leave you. You can close your eyes whenever you want and she'll be there. Do you want a moment alone with her before we leave?
I just wanted to look at her, my beautiful dear. Her spots, fading, her eyelashes, thick as grass, her fur, soft as a sycamore leaf. I just wanted to touch her, saw my rippling reflection in the stream and realized that I had lost the last shred of my humanity. Sometimes my mom came looking for us.
Dear child, where are you? Elsa! Elsa!
And sometimes someone else came looking for us.
Elsa! Oh, Elsa!
Come out, wherever you are. I've got something for you.
Something moved downwind of us. What I felt in that moment was purely animal fear. As I watched the mountain lion stalk Steve, I realized what Steve was. He wasn't a mountain lion. He was a person. The mountain lion was beautiful, strange, devoid of malice. Steve was bad. The mountain lion wasn't. But that didn't mean she wasn't hungry.
There you are. Ah! Ah!
My fawn spots glowed. I started to count them. 1, 2, 3. I made my breath match the numbers. 4, 5, 6. In that moment, I found a calm inside of myself that I had not previously known existed. 7, 8, 9, 10. I just wanted to keep her, my beautiful fawn, but I couldn't. There was a whole human world of human joy and human horrors waiting for me at home. I knew I had to face them, and I knew that I couldn't take her with me. So I looked at her and I said, "Run." And she ran. I'm 16. It's the night before the state cross-country meet. I'm 17. My college applications are due at midnight. I'm 19. My favorite cousin is dead. I'm 20. Something bad happens with a boy that I don't want to talk about. I'm 23. My dad has cancer. 24. My ex-boyfriend tells me that he can't move to Minnesota with me. Every time I count my fond spots, she doesn't save me, but she helps. And then not for years. I think that maybe it was just something that was wrong with me when I was young, like being twig thin, like being scared of monsters. But then I'm 29. I'm standing in my boyfriend's bedroom. The night before, his roommate tried to get me to fuck him while I was drunk. He brought me into his bedroom to show me his paintings, and I didn't realize that anything was wrong until suddenly I felt the wrongness all around me. The way he looked at me expectantly when he ran out of paintings to talk about. The way the air changed. He had the same yellow eyes, hungry and cold, staring at me from a million years ago. Now it's the next morning and I really have to go to the bathroom, but I can hear him in the kitchen and I can't walk past him, I just can't. I see a mason jar full of change on the windowsill, and I consider it just for a second, peeing in the jar. I remember the bushes behind the gymnasium, and then suddenly there are cicadas and snakes and an elevator. And all of it, just like before, only worse than before, because it's been so long that I've forgotten what I used to do to deal with it. But then I close my eyes. Just like that. Back in the forest. In the forest, leaves are falling. In the bedroom, I'm thinking, will it be awkward? Will it be worse? Will it be scary? Will my boyfriend understand? Will... In the forest, birds are calling. In the bedroom, my heart is grappling at my ribs like a trapped animal scraping at the walls of its cage. I'm dizzy, I'm sick, I can't make it stop. I can't. It rises and rises and rises and rises, and that's how it feels, like an infinite rise, like waiting to fall, and it's not, it's too much, I can't, I don't. And then suddenly, everything freezes. Back in the bedroom, my breath is my own. She doesn't say